Yeah. So, welcome to class. Thanks for coming to hang out. This is the first class I will be teaching since I took a break mid-October. Wild. So, we'll just see how that goes. But let's get you started in either child's pose or Supta Baddha Konasana, butterfly on your back. Alternatively, you could take butterfly upright if you want to create that shape in your body. And notice how this feels. Notice the parts of your body that are connected to the ground. Notice if there's any little adjustment that you want to make. Right, because you got time. You got time to make that adjustment. You don't have to sit in a shape that's not quite right. And so take that as your invitation for the entire class to make this your own. Right, to make changes where you want to, need to make changes. I know that my words are here as a guide, but this isn't a like, you must do what I say. Otherwise, I'll throw you in the river. I don't know. What would I do? Like, it's your body. It's your practice. This is for you. And bring your attention to your breath. And just feel what that feels like. In and out through your nose. And let it be gentle. And you could bring in some ujjayi if you want to, but even with ujjayi, it can be gentle, it can be soft. An invitation rather than something to force. If you're in child's pose, go ahead and walk your fingers over to the right side of your mat. And get a little side body stretch. And breathe into your left ribs. And if you're in butterfly, stay just as you are. In child's pose, go ahead and walk your hands over to the left this time. Just far enough, and not too far. We overdo it a lot, you know? Kind of what our culture is. Well, it's a big thing that we do. We don't need to do that here. Come on back to center if you're in child's. Welcome, Kevin. Why don't you grab another block and a blanket if you want. And from here, whichever shape you're in, just gradually make your way through all fours and press up into downward facing dog, and take that journey as slowly as you want, putting in any shapes that you want. We're going to come back to hands and knees, so you're going to get some of that. Yeah. Right, but this first down dog, do you want to bend your knees and pedal it out? Do you want to take your hands out wider and bend your elbows? out towards the sides. Move your shoulders up and down your spine. Bring your feet a little closer together and lift your right heel up towards the ceiling. Give your ankle, your knee some movement here. All right, you might, point your knee up at the ceiling, go from closed hip to open hip, and just explore without expectation of what it should feel like or look like. Just what does it feel like? And who cares what it looks like? And in your own time, take that to the other side. All right, as a curiosity. Bring both feet down. And come on down to all fours. From all fours, let's pop up into plank actually for a moment here. Yeah, we're going to do this first. All right, so from plank, pull the pit of your belly in and up, and let your core press you up and back into downward facing dog. And an invitation to move between those two shapes. And it's kind of like a wave going back and forth. And moving from the pit of your belly. Okay, your next time up in plank, go ahead and lower all the way down to your belly. All right, lift up into a little baby cobra. All right, another exploration, like where does it feel all right? Not pushing too far. You can take it, kind of up and down if you want to, or stay steady. And from here, press up into plank or all fours, your choice. All right, sit back into child's pose. And from child's, come up to all fours. Downward facing dog. All right, all the way up to plank. All right, lower down. Cobra. All right, through all fours. Downward facing dog. Up to plank again. All right, lower down. Little back bend. Through all fours. Child's pose. And on your own here, move between those shapes, like however your body wants to move. And that might be staying put in this one shape, right? That might be coming up to all fours. That might be pressing up to down dog. Like there's all these ways that you can move between these shapes. And I just want to give you an opportunity to do that without me telling you how to do that. Yeah, so we got lots of experienced yoga practitioners in the room here. And sometimes space. Sometimes space. It's just what we need. Take another round of whatever you're up to. About 5 or 6 more breaths. And then we'll continue. Notice the information that your body is giving you. Do you want to spend another breath in high plank? Would you prefer a child's pose? All right. Now let's come on up to all fours, everybody. Get yourself set up here with your knees under your hips. Hands can be under your shoulders or they can be a little forward if that feels better on your wrists. And from here, begin with your pelvis and move through some cat-cows. Tuck your tailbone down towards the floor. Pull the pit of your belly up towards the ceiling. Drop your head. And cow in the other direction. Start with your pelvis. Lift your hips, drop your belly. Look up through your eyebrows. Back and forth. Taking your time. All right, if you feel called to do so, you can turn your hands on backwards with your fingers pointing out or towards your knees. All right, and with your shoulders stabilized, tuck your tailbone towards your heels and then cock your right hip towards your right shoulder. And look back in that direction. Thank you, Amanda. It's like, yeah. Oh, yeah, and squeeze here. I keep tucking your tail towards your heels as you squeeze and getting into your side body. And take a breath in. And come back through center. Spend a moment. Feel. And then over to the other side. Right, start with a tucked tail. And press your left hip towards your left shoulder. Breath in. And breath out. Take it all the way over to the other side. Right, breathe in. Exhale over to the left. And breathe in here. Right, breathe out over to the right. One more time on each side. Right, breath in. Exhale moves you over to the left. Back to center. Flip your hands around. And send your right leg back behind you. And notice what you need to do here to level off your hips. Right, flex your right toes. Alternatively, you could leave your toes on the ground. Right, breathe in. Breathe out. Pull your right knee up to your right elbow. Look at it. Look at your knee. And then send your leg back, straight back behind you. Knee to elbow. And this time, extend your leg and touch your toes down on the left side of your mat. Right, getting into side body again. Right, so tuck your tail. Squeeze your left hip towards your left shoulder. Look back at your right foot. Right, take a slow in breath. And breathe out all the way across, knee to elbow, maybe tricep, maybe a little higher. Right, over and across. Knee to elbow. One more time. Touch your toes, look at your heel. Knee to elbow. All right, stay here and squeeze for just a moment. All right, press your foot out. And maybe hover. And then right foot to the ground. All right, bring your right hand to your heart. Take a little twist open to the right. And take this opportunity to see what your shoulder feels like. Maybe move your arm in your shoulder socket. Maybe flick your fingers. Yeah. Swipe your right hand down to the ground and walk yourself up so that you're standing on your left knee. All right, right hand to your right thigh and reach up and over with your left arm. All right, both hands to the ground. Send your right leg behind you. Reach forward with your left arm. Stabilize at your core. Pull the pit of your belly in and up. And then go ahead and bring your elbow and your knee together under your body. Breathe in, reach. Exhale, elbow to knee. One more time. Elbow to knee. Reach long. And both hands down, both knees down, child's pose. Little rest. Little pause. We say a lot in yin that the pause is just as important as the pose, and that goes the same here too. Notice if one side of your body feels a little different than the other, or if there's any cross body sensation. One hip, the opposite shoulder. And take a breath in together. Sigh it out your face like you're fogging up your yoga mat. And come on up to all fours. And for good measure, another bit of cat-cow, a little organic movement here. Whatever feels good. Get yourself set up in your neutral table. And reach your left leg back. And spread and flex your toes. All right, take a breath in. And breathe out. Pull your left knee to your left elbow. All right, and then leg straight back behind you. Level your hips. All right, knee to elbow. And then over and across. Right side of your mat, touch your toes down. Squeeze right hip towards right shoulder until you can feel it, like right underneath your love handle. Another breath, maybe two. Slow breath in. Breathe out as you bring your knee to your elbow. All right, exhale, over and across, look at your heel. And knee to elbow. All right, on your own breath. All right, long leg. Squeeze your side body. All right, knee to elbow. Pause here for a second. And kick your leg out to the side. Touch your foot down. All right, hand to your heart, or maybe a little chicken wing. And then open up to the left. opportunity for movement. Shoulder. All right, both hands down. Walk yourself up to standing on your right knee. All right, reach your right arm up, over to the left. All right, both hands down. Knees in. And take your right hand up, like so, a little twist this way. And then thread your right arm underneath your left armpit. Bring your right shoulder down to the ground. All right, you can keep your left hand by your face and your elbow kind of at 90 degrees, or you can bring your left hand towards the top of your mat to give your side body a little more space. So just see what feels best in your body. And notice what else you can soften here. Oftentimes in this shape, I get into it and then it takes a moment for me to just kind of let it go. And gently come back to all fours. Lift up your left arm. Yeah. Other way. Yeah, thread your left arm under your right armpit. It doesn't matter, right? Like we're gonna do both sides. Most of the time we're gonna do both sides. And a few more breaths. Slowly make your way to all fours. Downward facing dog. Walk your hands back to your feet. Ragdoll. And go ahead and grab opposite elbows, or you could interlace your fingers behind the base of your neck. And take your feet out a little wider if that calls to you, like even as wide as the edges of your mat. Soften your knees a whole bunch. It's my go-to shape if we've been walking a lot or like hiking around with a backpack on. And it changes quickly. You know, there's like the initial sensation, and then as you stay in it, it starts getting a little fiery. Are y'all feeling a little fire in this ragdoll? Hamstrings talking to you. And so one hand at a time, go ahead and walk your hands up to your shins or your thighs. Press in. All right, halfway lift. Pull the pit of your belly in and up, and press the back of your head, your shoulders up towards the ceiling. All right, take a breath in here. Forward fold, breathe out. Extended mountain. Yeah. Put your fingers up towards the ceiling. And bring your hands together at your heart. Pause. Reach up, extended mountain. Forward fold. Halfway. Fold. Extended mountain. Slow breath in. Hands to heart as you breathe out. Breathe in, reach up. Fold. Halfway. Forward fold. Rise to standing. Hands to heart. Extended. Fold. Halfway. Forward fold. Extended mountain. Hands to heart. Reach up. Forward fold. Halfway. Moving on, crawl your hands up to high plank. Stay here or drop your knees. And then lower yourself down. Option to hover at low plank. And then back bend of your choosing. Pause here for another moment just to feel where you want to take it right now. Through all fours. Downward facing dog. Tiptoe your feet up to your hands. Halfway lift. Forward fold. Rise to stand. Fingers to the sky. Hands to heart. Reach up. Fold. Halfway lift. All right, step back, high plank, knees up or down. All right, lower down, low plank, or all the way to your belly. Cobra, maybe up dog, back bend of your choosing. Downward facing dog, option to move through all fours. Breathe in, everybody. Breathe it out. One more like that. And out together. Halfway lift. Fold. Extended mountain. Hands to your heart. Reach up. Forward fold. Halfway lift. High plank. Lower. Back bend. Downward facing dog. Walk your hands back to your feet. All right, lift up halfway. Fold. Extended mountain. Hands to your heart. Now step forward. Warrior one. Right foot forward. Yeah, like that. Hi, buddy. All right, and you've always got the option here, right? Warrior one with your back foot at an angle, or you can come up onto your back toes and turn it into crescent. Right, the difference being a little bit of work in your back knee or not. Right. All right, from here, release your fingers behind your back and bring your right shoulder down towards your right knee, humble warrior. An option to press your knuckles towards the back wall or towards the corner where the wall meets the ceiling, right? Or let your arms relax. And press down into both feet. Right. Come back upright, reach your fingers towards the ceiling. Take a breath in, turn it into a little back bend. Downward facing dog. Option to flow here if you wanna. And walk your hands back to your feet. Halfway lift once you get there. Fold. Extended mountain. Hands to your heart. And take a wonky step forward with your left foot. All right. It could be graceful or not graceful, right? Yeah. And then settle in, see what that feels like. Figure out what you want to do with your back foot. If you want to turn it into a crescent instead of a warrior. And then interlace your fingers. Humble warrior. And take your gaze towards the back of your mat. And press down into both of your feet. And then make your way back up. Reach up. Settle in for another breath. All right, option to take your gaze further up and back. And downward facing dog, or move through your vinyasa, right? However you want to do that, because there's more than one way, right? Moving through those shapes. Yeah, and child's pose, right? Whenever you want. Water asana. All right, from downward facing dog, take a breath in and a breath out. Walk your feet up to the front of your mat. Halfway lift. Fold. Chair pose. Yeah, whatever you want to do with your arms too. I'm a big fan of like steeple fingers. That feels better on my shoulder. Right, but yeah, arms up, arms in cactus. All right, and whatever your arms are doing, take your awareness to your pelvis and tuck the front of your pelvis up towards your belly button so you're not compressing your lower back. Press down into your heels. All right, take the sensation out of your quads, right, into your heels and your glutes. And breath in here. And breath out, forward fold. Halfway lift. High plank. Lower down. Back bend. Downward facing dog. Right foot forward, warrior one or crescent. All right, reach up. Stay for the out breath. Slow breath in. All right, high plank. All right, option to move through. You can also go straight back into downward facing. Yeah, up and down. All right, now left foot forward. Warrior one or crescent. Breath in and move it through. Downward facing dog or flow. And taking your time moving with your breath. All right, breath in together. And breath out. We'll wind up to your toes on this one. Look forward. Breathe out. Yeah. Hop or step forward. Halfway lift. Fold. Chair pose. One breath. Forward fold. Lift up halfway. Downward facing dog or high to low. Back bend. Downward facing. Right side. Warrior one or crescent. Reach up. Stay for your out breath. Another breath in, maybe a cactus. Hands to your mat. Downward facing or flow through your vinyasa. All right, and if that's not high plank, that could be cat-cow. Right, and left side. Stay for the out breath. Breathe in. High to low. Or right back into downward facing dog. I think you know you've got options at this point. Doing what you're doing. Right foot forward, warrior one. All right, warrior two. Flip your front palm. Reverse your warrior. Extended side angle. Yeah, so many options here. You can bring your elbow to your right thigh. You could hover your arm off of your thigh. But whatever you're up to, press your left shoulder a little bit back to open up through your collarbones. All right, come on back up to warrior two. Reverse, straighten your leg. All right, triangle. All right, grab a block if you want it on the outside or inside of your front leg. I like to stick my block on the highest setting and then press my fist into it. And press down into both of your feetsies. And activate your inner leg line by pressing your feet towards each other like you could create a big wrinkle in your mat. Okay, come back up to standing. 5-pointed star. Make that sound effect or another one. Yeah. All right, bring your hands to your hips and wide leg, side facing, wide leg forward fold. Maybe bring your heels out a little wider than your toes. Option to stay just as you are, or you could walk yourself over to one side and do a little side lunge action. All right, back to center. All right, lift up halfway. All right, all the way up. Pew. And then in front of your mat. Let's see your right side. Let's just switch it. All right, switch to the left side. Why not? Yeah. All right, so there's warrior one. And warrior two. All right, making whatever adjustments you need to make in your feet so that it feels nice and sensational, but not painful in your hips. All right, maybe press your left knee towards your left baby toe. All right, reverse your warrior. Extended side angle. Your version. All right, that might be grabbing a hold of your ankle and pressing your lower arm and your lower leg together. I'm just waving at you now. like, hey, hello there. All right, back up to warrior two. All right, reverse your warrior, straighten your leg, and triangle. And press your right shoulder towards the wall behind you. We spend so much time in our lives like curled over devices, curled over computers. So like we do a lot of like opening up through the chest, bringing your shoulders together, right, to counteract all of the interesting life patterns we've developed. All right, this time, take your right hand down and go low and enter into your side facing wide leg forward fold. Three more breaths here. Gently start to make your way to a halfway lift. And then just walk your hands up to the front of your mat. Let's plop right on into a dragon. And so both hands on the inside of your left foot. And this can be, lots of different ways. Amanda's got her blocks there. Right, this could be upright. We're just getting into groin and hip flexor. And same thing as earlier. I'm getting to a sensational place, but not pressing it too far, not going too far. And if it makes it, a little more easeful, right, then use your blocks on whatever setting works. Because this is not meant to rip you into pieces. And if you want to take it into a winged dragon, you can do that by rolling over onto the baby toe edge of your foot. And give yourself some space here. Like you might want to walk your foot out to the edge of your mat. And that might not work at all. Right? All right, so this is the discernment of like, I'm going to say some stuff, but it's your body. Once you feel complete here, all right, take whatever movement you want to make. That might be pressing your hips towards the back of your mat and pointing your left toes up. Maybe a little back and forth. And then eventually get yourself over onto the other side. However you want to do that. Like, remember, your blocks are there. There's nothing wrong with using blocks. Notice if you could relax your neck a little bit, or maybe your face. Winged dragon, if you are called to do so. And you can always bring your attention back to your breath, right? If the sensation in your hip flexor isn't enough to hold your attention, right? Just, yeah, breath in and out of your face hole. And then begin to gently make your way out of this shape. Maybe a little runner's lunge. And come on back into child's pose, home base. If there's a different home base you would prefer, go there. Right, from child's pose, slither your way forward until you're lying on your belly. And then bring your arms out into a T. Right, bend your right knee so that your foot's pointing up. And then bring your right hand, like just about like under your right shoulder. And start to roll over to the left, coming into shoulder hinge. Right? If that doesn't work for your shoulder, don't do it. All right. You might just get enough by just, doing it partially. Right. So you can bring your right foot to the ground behind you if that feels good. Paying a lot of attention to what your body is communicating right here. Right? Not going too far, not pushing. And 2 more breaths. And come on to your belly. And before you move into the other side, just take a moment, right? Take a pause. And create a T shape with your arms. Bend your left knee. Bring your left hand under your left shoulder. And hinge yourself towards your right arm this time. Right, and you might notice that if you change where your long arm is pointing, like you can change that a little bit if you come back to your belly, right? And just see what it feels like if you adjust that arm just slightly. What would it feel like or look like in your life if you decided to, just go for something sensational, but not pushing or forcing through things? It's being a little more gentle and tender with your sweet self. And come on back to your belly, go slow. Right. And an invitation here. A lot of you are familiar with heart bridge. Right. So this is another shoulder pose, heart opener. I recommend the highest setting or the middle setting, probably the middle to start, and then see what that feels like. And then bring like the bulbs of your shoulders onto the blocks. All right, bringing your arms back towards your sides. And taking your time to set this up. Right? It's kind of wonky, so you might need to, wedge the corners of your block into, like into your tissue. And so if it doesn't feel quite right, you don't have to stay there and kind of suffer through it. And this sort of feels good, but sort of doesn't. So make your adjustments. And if that isn't sensational enough, if you want more, you can switch the blocks up to the highest setting. And more doesn't mean better. And we're made up of the same parts, but they're all slightly different in shape, construction. And so shapes are going to look different in different bodies. It's not about forcing our bodies into shapes. And notice your breath. And see if you can And breathe in and out through the back of your heart. And allowing your lungs, your back lungs to expand. And tuning into your back body. And can you let your face relax like even more? And get a little crock pot melty. And rather than holding your face in an expression, can you just, yeah, let it melt towards the floor? Take a slow, gentle breath in. Feel your shoulders, your back ribs, back lungs expand. And slowly let that breath out of your body, allowing yourself to get completely empty. Another gentle breath in. A slow, spacious breath out. And in your own way, you can kind of wiggle yourself off of your blocks, bring your shoulders down to the ground. And turn your face to either side. And turn your face in the other direction. Now with some serious sloth-like energy, very slowly begin to make your way onto your back body. Bring the soles of your feet to your mat. Cross your right ankle over your left knee for figure 4. And that might be enough of a sensation through your right hip, your right glute. And if you want a little more, you can reach around and grab a hold of your left hamstring or your left shin. I like to press the sole of my foot a little further over to the left. And that tends to just get in there a little bit more. But always listening to what your body has to say. And taking it just far enough without jumping off any edges. Stay as you are in this shape, or take it into a twist by dropping both of your knees over to the left. And you can change the orientation of your legs to each other however you want. An option to take your gaze towards the right. If it sounds like it would feel good and support you, you could stick a block in between your thighs so that your top thigh doesn't have to do so much work hanging out there. And taking your time, begin to make your way out of your twist. And slowly, always slowly, taking these moments to savor, begin to set yourself up for figure 4 on the other side. And it's likely that this side is going to need something different than the other one. And so give yourself permission to explore what that looks like with curiosity rather than judgment. Knowing that there's nothing wrong with the sides of your body being a little different. It's very normal. If you find your mind drifting away from this moment, this space, bring it back to your breath. And you might even, imagine like your breath in through your nose and making this little pathway up to the center of your forehead. And then your out breath from the center of your forehead back out your nose. And breathing in, nose to forehead center. And back out again. In your own time, begin to turn this into a twist if you want to, or stay just as you are, or do something entirely different. A reminder that you got blocks if you want to give yourself a little support. It is time to move slowly towards Shavasana. And take your time getting there. And most of you have got a blanket nearby if you want to cover yourself up. Well, yeah, you've got time. Take any other shapes you want to make with your body. And I'm going to come around and press down on your shoulders if you want me to. So let's do this. If you don't want an assist, just give me a little wave right now and I will not touch you. And Jen, imagine my hands on your shoulders. Hi, buddy. And gently shift your attention back to your body and back to your breath. Remember what the room looks like, where your body is in the room. And then you choose if you want to roll your head from side to side or wiggle your toes, your fingers, and take a full body stretch. Somebody's got to knock over a water bottle. It hasn't happened yet. I don't think it's gonna. Very tenderly with yourself, you can roll over onto one side, curl up, or you can stay as you are. You can stay laying just as you are. And gently press yourself up to a seat. Sitting cross-legged or on your shins, maybe up on a block. Bring your hands together at your heart. Press your thumbs into your sternum. All parts of me, not just love and light, but all parts of me. See all parts of you. Thank you for being here today. Namaste. Namaste. Yeah, you can do the thing where you look at each other. Namaste. All right, as a greeting, as a hello, welcome this moment. Nice to see you.